Alright, what is up, YouTube? So I decided to make 2 videos today, put it out there. This one is going to be about running and being overweight. And so I started at 253 pounds, woman, 27 years old. Well, I was 26 at the time. And running wasn't so nice to me. So when I know it's easy for people to say, just get out there and run. Well, I did do that, and I ended up hurting myself. So I didn't get shin splints or anything like that, but what I ended up doing is I irritated my Achilles tendon, because apparently I have bone spurs on the back of my heels. And so what I would do is I would increase, I was like, you know what? I was training for a Spartan sprint. So for those of you that don't know, those are normally 3 to 5 miles with obstacles in between. It's a mud run, obstacle course race. And so I started training with my buddies at work, and they were, you know, definitely, they were more fit than I was, and they were not as heavy as I was. So I was trying to keep up with them, doing 3 miles a day or 3 miles every other day, whatever our training schedule would allow for. And yeah, it would hurt whenever I would get up in the bed or get up out of bed in the morning. The back of my ankles would just hurt. It would hurt for me to walk. And so I ended up going and getting x-rays and that kind of thing. And what the doctor told me is that I needed to slow down. My body wasn't ready for it. Start out, you know, with a half a mile for a whole week. Work your way up to, for the second week, do a mile. And see how it goes. If the mile hurts, you know, drop it back down, and maybe you have to do a half mile for another week. And I know some people really don't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that. Just the reason I'm saying is because I did not want to hear. I wanted to do 3 miles. I'm supposed to be doing 3 miles because this race, sorry, I know it's shaky. I'm driving, for those of you who cannot tell. Yeah, so I didn't want to hear it. I needed to be out there running with my buddies, 3 miles. They're pushing me, but my doctor said no. And so what I really had to do is I had to slow it down, and I had to do like a mile. That's what I actually started out with, was a mile, and I was okay with that. My ankles were okay with that. Next thing were my knees. So my frequency, or my, you know, hurt my knees. And so you got to think about it. If you're going out running on concrete all this time and you're overweight, you're taking 200 pounds, 250 pounds, 275, whatever you are, and you're pretty much slamming that down onto your knees every single time you run. It's a jolt. Now, don't get me wrong, there are ways to run that can help take it off, but the fact is your body is still carrying this. And so I also found that being at 253 pounds, I couldn't do a mile 5 or 7 days a week. I had to do a mile 3 days a week, okay? And then I had to walk the other days. Now, I mean, just walk, not let's walk and then jog and walk and then jog, and no, walk. Because I did try the walk and jog, and my knees would just hurt. It would take me out of exercising. And so it was either go slow at a steady pace and be able to work out every day and do something physically active every single day, or exhaust myself, hurt myself, and then you know, be out for a few days. And so I chose to take the safer route, which actually paid off in the long run. Obviously, I went from 253 to 219, and like I said, it's been an on and off process, so I can't just gauge and tell you that it took me 6 months, because it's like I would diet and exercise for like a month, and then the next 3 weeks I decided that I wasn't going to do anything, or something came up to where it just wasn't helping me, or there's a lot of factors that, you know, can come in, and so I wouldn't do it. And then I would do it for like a month, and then I wouldn't do it. And so This is just a progress over a long period of time. But that's why I'm actually documenting what I'm doing now. I'm going from 219 to my goal weight. But yeah, so when you are overweight, hugely overweight, and you're not used to doing anything, get out there and walk first. Go to the gym and get on the treadmill and put it at like a 3, or a speed 3 or a 3.5, so it's kind of like a fast walk. And if you can actually walk on that without an incline, or like that speed without an incline for at least 0.25 miles, that's when I'd kick it up, and not out of breath. That's when I'd kick it up on the incline, not the speed, but kick it up on the incline to like maybe a 2, and try that, and just try to see where your body's limits are, because you're gonna feel it. You really are. And you want to make sure that you're doing this at least 3 times a week, or pretty much every other day if you're pretty big. Like I said, I was overweight. My BMI was like 37 something. My BMI is still big now. It's still over 30, but it's not as big, and it's a hell of a lot easier, I can tell you that. I can go run a mile, 2 miles, jog a mile and 2 miles without it hurting my ankles like it used to, without it hurting my knees like it used to. So yeah, what you want to do is you want to start doing that. Do it every other day, and once you get a little bit more comfortable to where you lose a little bit, you can try to jog half a mile. That's where I would start, is to see if you can, after doing the walking and losing, I'd say 10 to 15 pounds, doing that through diet and exercise, not just through walking. You gotta diet and exercise. You gotta diet and add it with the exercise too. So lose 10 to 15 pounds that way, and then see if you can run, 1 mile, or not 1 mile, half a mile at like a 4.5 speed, or jog, not run, jog, at a 4.5 speed for a half a mile. If you can do that, and it's not hurting you the next day, then do it again on Wednesday. But if you can't, you're going to want to go back to the walking for a little bit longer, because it will hurt, and you're just doing permanent damage to your knees if you're not taking the time. Like right now, even the other day at my physical stature, I decided that I was going to go try a 3 mile. I had been running a mile and a half, been exercising for 30 minutes 3 times a day. I mean, not 3 times a day, 3 times a week, as far as cardio wise. It's like, you know what, I'm going to go try 3 miles. Because I used to be able to do 3 miles in about 36 to 38 minutes when I was training beforehand. And I've gotten out of that routine. And I did it in like 42 minutes. And I hurt like hell the next day. My knees hurt, couldn't really walk upstairs, so I was like, okay, never mind, I'm not ready for that yet. I gotta start back at the beginning. And so now I'm doing 1 mile every day, because I am used to that. I can do that. 1 mile every day. And if something does hurt, like after day 3, if my knees hurt, then I'll take Thursday off, because I started on Monday. I'll take Thursday off, and then I'll continue Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But always listen to your body. If your knees are hurting, don't do it. Now, if your muscles are just sore, like if your legs are sore, I mean, I've worked legs, leg day, and I can't walk downstairs, but I can tell the difference between my knees not letting me walk down or upstairs versus I did leg day and my muscles hurt. I can't walk downstairs or upstairs. And if your muscles are just hurting, then you're fine. It's because you're not used to the physical activity that you're doing. You'll get used to it in a couple of weeks. That's not a problem. It's when your knees, like your bones and your joints, hurt because you're putting too much impact on them. And like I said, you'll be able to tell the difference. So if your muscles just hurt, keep going. Keep exercise the next time. Take a couple Advil. If your joints actually hurt, you might want to wait a day or 2, or 2 days before you try the next one. So that's what I would recommend. just from doing it by experience, by trying to go too fast, and then also getting up to a certain point to where I could run 3 miles in 36 to 38 minutes, which wasn't bad. I think I was actually 230 pounds at the time that I was doing that. So I mean, that's not like too bad for being that weight. I mean, as far as like fat and out of, not fit, out of shape, because I know that there are some people who are actually in shape that are 230 pounds of muscle and stuff like that can run and be able to do it pretty quickly. I'm talking about, I'm out of shape, I'm 230 pounds, not muscle, that kind of stuff. I mean, I got a good bit of fat on me, and I went out there and did that. That was actually pretty good. And so I can't do that right now because I quit for a little while. Now that I quit, I have to understand and realize that I need to start back slow again and get that bag under control. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a mile every day for this week. Next week, as long as there's no issues, no knee pain, no ankle pain, no whatever, next week I'm going to go to 1.5 miles. And for some reason, if there is any issues, I'll continue the mile next week, and then on week 3 I'll bump up to the 1.5 miles. So you gotta make small changes. Yep, that's pretty much, I think, all that I wanted to cover about running and being overweight. Just go slow at it. Don't overexert yourself when your body is telling you no, because there can be consequences of being too big and trying to go too fast. So yeah, just be careful. That's all I'm saying, is just be careful. You can actually talk to a doctor if you want to, but I was like, man, I'm not paying to go see a doctor to get their opinion. I'm not paying to go see a personal trainer. Like, that's just a lot of money, not gonna do it. And so I went through the good and bad ways to figure out how to run while being overweight. And also good form. Good form is another, way that's gonna help you not hurt as much. But in my personal opinion, it's hard to have good form when you are overweight and you're not used to it. My form, I don't think, is that great at the moment, which is probably why there are still some issues. I'm not running as fast, blah blah blah. But I'm thinking that once I actually get used to running for a little while and losing some weight, I'll actually be able to, stand up how I'm supposed to, or, get the form that I'm supposed to. Another thing that did help me, just to throw in there really quick before I finish this video, there are apps out there that once you can run, but you can't run for long periods of time, there are apps that will get you up to that point. So, or it's called interval training. People have heard of it. I'm sure you've heard of it. So you want to do a warm-up of like 5 minutes. You can either walk or jog depending on when you start this. And what it's going to have you do is it's going to have you run for like 1 minute, or jog for a minute, and then walk for a minute. Jog for a minute, walk for a minute, and you'll do it for like 30 minutes, have a cool down, which is 5 minutes, that kind of thing. But the apps are Couch to 5K, they have a Couch to 10K, I think, or from 5K to 10K. Running for weight loss is a really good app. I've used that one before. But yeah, so they're just pretty much training plans that's going to help you run longer, but also work yourself up to it correctly. So I think that's one of the ways where I made my runs faster, is I did do that. So I might change up my training plan, and I might actually, instead of running a mile every day for a whole week, I am going to do it for this week and see how it goes. So if my mile doesn't increase by the end of, or by Sunday, I might incorporate some interval training into next week. We will see. I'll keep you guys updated. But that pretty much is it for this video. If you have any questions, comment below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike, hit the dislike button. I actually got a phone call in the middle of that. But if you want to see more of these videos, you know, just hit me up, put it in there. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm really trying to keep this active because I wanted to hear from more people like myself when doing YouTube searches. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know what that is, but doing YouTube searches, I wanted to hear from more overweight people about them getting in shape. So there are great people out there that have workouts and things like that, you know, showing you how to do stuff, but they already look fit. They already are fit. And maybe, yes, I'm not saying that they didn't come from somewhere, but I don't know. I just like to see somebody coming from somewhere, and maybe I can follow them and work out with them and, you know, get fit at the same time. So, I'm hoping that people are going to subscribe and join at this point that are like me, so that are just overweight, want to get fit, and are tired of being overweight. And, you know, that way they can just follow, put questions down there. I'll share my pain and my happiness with you, and I'll try to get better at it. I promise. I'll even try to incorporate, you know, maybe some songs and stuff in videos. I haven't gotten that technical with it yet. Just make a straight video from my phone, the end, post it. But I'll see if I can get better at everything for you guys. Alright, peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video.